So now we're heading to the middle of the ocean. This is going to be interesting because at this point I know nothing. Like, I literally know nothing about what's going to happen from here on out. So, let's go rescue Graha. And honestly, I kind of want to play this as Monk, but also at the same time, I kind of want to play Dancer because I really did enjoy playing Dancer through a lot of that. So we'll play it as Dancer. Thou didst plan to commandeer an Amara from for thy journey into the open sea. Excuse me. I fear the following dive down into Imitsulk's underwater abode would drain even their legendary stamina. Thus, during thy convalescence, we consider it the most efficacious, of course Ryanje would use that word, method for reaching the depths of the Tempest, and I believe we have arrived at an elegant solution. Yet, ere we discuss this step, I suggest thou dost conclude such pressing business as remains to thee in the Crystarium. Once the sea closeth above our heads, we are unlikely to surface again until our grand deed is done. To the storm-tossed seas. I'm probably... You know what? Let's eat a pretzel before we go. That reminds me. Okay, it was tenacity. So this is kind of useless to me. Okay. Well, that's that. Can't do anything about it now. Oh well. Wait a minute. Where's the summoning bell? It's in that direction. Downstairs. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm wearing my 3 XP earring, but... I think food was Darien, right? Yep. Okay, this is actually... I might get rid of those. Direct hit, speed, skill, vitality. Piety. Okay. And then all that's... I gotta get some more things for crafting. This is gonna go over here. And I really need to up my crafting. that I have what I actually need. Just burn through the raisins. Thine affairs are in order, then I shall unfold to thee my proposal. Our destination is the ocean floor, yet our goal is not simply to arrive there. Nay, we must needs have the means to breathe and fight freely. This would I petition the aid of one of the Fae, a being with whom I have yet to meet face to face. Rather than waste words on explanation, I bid thee follow me unto the hamlet of Sullen, which lieth to the south and west. All will become abundantly clear, I promise thee. I just realized I flew over the location at the very start of the game. So I think my goal right now, well, not my goal right now, but my eventual goal is to get closer to the end of Shadowbringers, which will be the beginning of June. And hopefully by the time, I'm gonna say, I would like to say by the time Dawn Trail releases, I'll be starting Endwalker, but we'll see. There, to the west, canst thou discern a hump of an isle rising above the water? Oh, okay. That foliage that foliage-covered mass hideth the key to our safe descent. Swim close and plunge beneath the surface. Thou shalt soon divine the reason for mine insistence. Though it though it Though it be much to my shame, I cannot but flail and flounder where thou may glide as a fish. I shall board a boat to the island and spare of one and all the spectacle of mine inept strokes. Poor Oriange. I do remember that. I do remember that thing about Oriange. It's Oriange and Alfina who don't know how to swim, but Alfina was learning. Is not great. Oh wow, I found it right away. Why does this thing look like an eye? Two curved slabs of rock seem to squeeze together. Yeah, see? Where's the other one? I'm pretty sure this is like some underwater turtle. Well, what hast thou discerned? Reminds me of a certain primal. Wait. I'm trying to think, what are the sea primals? Most perceptive. According to the lore of the pixies, we are, even now, perched upon the back of an ancient fate entity. Huh? Its name is Bismarck. I, this self-same title by which we know the great feathered whale. Oh! Revered by the Vanu Vanu of the source. Oh! Oh god, what was the name of that? Um... Limitless Blue, I think it was? I would enlist its aid to bear us into the deep, and hence banish the water with an airy sphere, alike in form to the domes which do shelter the hamlets neath the ruby sea. Within its compass we may move unencumbered, and defend ourselves when the hour of battle cometh, as is most surely shall. Now, I must needs ask for silence whilst I make my supplication.
Wir Sach, Bilan Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan. Ada si alinal.
Van urs atslir. Olfodd him. Iri guad thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fae to know that didn't go well.
My snake yak! You've learned to call me at last!
Of course she'd be happy about that.
Where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Gers Bismael win picked. Van dromi drom jakom. Van read rithje.
Una. Sa hawin wisk. Isne sur vierno.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only good manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Lo fallo ruis. Van in narsitar. Dir sidagnai.
It's literally the exact same whale, just it has more greenery on its back.
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
Ah, the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
Give it a few seconds.
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from?
Wave. Wave. Giant wave.
Oh yeah! It's not stopping! Run! Run!
breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The tempest's floor is laid bare. In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
I'm so glad that Bismarck was true to his word. We've arrived in the Tempest, safe and dry. 'Tis here that we shall find the lair of Emic Selk, and, I believe, the imprisoned Exarch as well. As for an Ascian alone, it is, of course, a trifling matter to flee unto the rift, yet I suspect such travel is nigh impossible with a mortal in one's custody. Nay, he would not soon risk his prize when the Exarch's very body serveth as the key to the Crystal Tower and its power of temporal transportation. Thus am I all but certain that this underwater realm harboreth our friend and enemy both. We have but to find them. Oh, okay, cool. Now, as for where we should start looking, I rather doubt Emmett Selk will be sitting around out in the open. I propose we follow the slope down towards the deep trenches and keep an eye out for rock formations large enough to house a stronghold. Let's be off then, but watch your footing. The ground is still wet and like to be slippery. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. finless ones. They followed us. Why have you come? Was it you who took away our water? Oops. Ah, so this is where the Ondo make their home. I had wondered. Pray forgive us any inconvenience we have caused. We were not aware your people lived here in the Tempest. We need this great dome of air that we might conduct a most urgent search, and thus beg you for your understanding. Chieftain, what do we do? Are you emissaries of the Ancient Ones? Ancient Ones. The mysteries that stirred have been seen, the illuminated land shining through the gloom of the abyss. If you are the emissaries, the chosen, I bid you welcome. If you are not, I bid you leave. I am not sure I understand. Would you be willing to elaborate? It would seem not. I suggest we withdraw for the moment. Interesting. So what's the plan? Given your condition, I'm reluctant to suggest lingering here. That said, our presently meandering search would proceed far more swift if we could call on upon the Ondo's local knowledge. Yes, I'd like to know more about this illuminated land the chieftain spoke of. Well, it's obviously the top area. Could it be Imixelk's stronghold, do you suppose? Perhaps he lit the lanterns upon his return. We cannot dismiss the possibility, but if these Ondo refuse to speak with us... Sapphire, do you remember my first scheme for entering Yilmore? How I had planned to integrate myself by offering lucrative trading opportunities with the Ondon? The individual I dealt with was reticent in manner, and curious. I believe that with the right approach, we could build a similar relationship here. What kind of approach do you have in mind? That chieftain fellow didn't leave us many options. If we are to tread the swiftest course, then we must needs locate its beginning. 'Tis plain our all too dramatic arrival hath thrown this settlement into confusion. Were we to solve such problems as we have caused, assure our host thereby yet prove amiable to reason. I smell chores, but very well if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I've nothing better to offer, but I do worry what will happen if Ondon's tale ends up leading us to a dead end. I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Asians than first meets the eye. It warrants further investigation, thus I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. Then it's settled. Ishtella, pray proceed with your investigations. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. Watch, I can't turn this one in. Zephyr, you won't believe who I just bumped into. This is Posh Oan, the very fellow I did business with prior to our ill-fated stay in Newmore. I waited, and you did not come. Then the Mistle came, but his visit did not continue. I'm truly sorry. Things did not proceed as planned. Is there aught we can do for you by the way of an apology? Perhaps. When the dry return, a cavern to the north is home to giant crabs. We do not fear the crab. We are the swifter swimmers. But now there is no water. We run and they scuttle close behind, snipping and snapping their claws. There's too many of them. Too many. Alright, crab hunt. I believe I can be of assistance there. And what of you? If you've not found a task, you are most welcome to join me. Indeed, I should appreciate the company. Where the dry return has a rather ominous ring to it. I'm assuming I'm going the right way. Looks like I missed out on a fate. You could crack their shells? You must be stronger than you look. I see you've reached your quota first again. I shall never be your equal in such task. Still, I would say we have reduced the local crab population to a far less threatening number. My thanks to you both. You must have a reward. Nay, this was to be a part of my apology to you, remember? Besides which, the lack of water is our doing, for which we must also make amends. Might I convince you to tell us something about your village instead? I would very much like to learn more of you and your people. Very well. Before the flood came, it is said that our ancestors' home was found in the seas to the south. It was utterly destroyed by the light. Only those who were out hunting survived. They swam, aimless and lost, until they spied buildings here on the ocean floor. Strange buildings they were, and long had they stood under the water, yet somehow they had been spared the scars of time and current. These structures provide shelter for my people, protection from the tempest, turbulent waters, and predators which hunted within them. Their very existence seemed a miracle. The first settlers pondered their good fortune. It was clear that the race who had built such wonders had guided their course, and from this did they discern the truth. Which is... that the ancients had chose us to serve as caretakers of their internal sanctuary, until such time as they returned. Thus, it is judged that your coming, and this great vanishing of water, was by the ancients' design. You will find warm welcome here. A truly astonishing history, yet I cannot help but wonder how will the significance or otherwise of our arrival be decided. The ancients have blessed us with protection and prosperity. If your presence serves to bring us the same, there will be no doubt in the matter. Then it would appear our earlier decision was the correct one. We thank you for the lesson, and will continue to do all we can to assist your people. Should you desire our help with any other trouble, pray do not hesitate to ask. We should return to the task at hand, only do not try to exert yourself, my friend. The risk far outweighs the gain. Have you learned not of note? Or have you learned aught of note? Fascinating, and precisely the sort of information I was hoping to hear. In fact, if you have a moment, I'd like to borrow your eyes to confirm a theory I've been working on. Come. Well, I think I found a win mission. Yep. I never really read these missions. I'm just kind of like, and I'm off doing a thing. Okay, that's the only one so far. Y'shtola's mission. I'll do all the flying missions later. Now, there are two tasks I have you perform. First requires you to inspect the buildings which surround the Ondo settlement. Note their most distinctive characteristics. For the second, I wish you to use this knife to take scrapings from one of the remnant walls. Pray be as thorough as you can. I shall be waiting here for the results of your investigations. I swear these missions just are just like, what am I looking for? And what have you discovered? Yes, I would agree that the windows are most distinctive. It would seem the structures appear the same to both your sight and mine. And you say you could not so much as scratch the wall, even with your might behind the blade? Everywhere I turn in this place, my gaze is drawn by peculiar materials from which I do not have a name. The buildings I had you investigate are prime examples. They may appear to be constructed of ordinary stone, but I assure you it is nothing of the sort. If pressed, I would describe the substance as a composite of several mineral properties blended to create a material of unparalleled durability. Even the Rokan Empire, known once the greatest power of Nordvent, produced nothing which compares to this level of perfection. But if not the Rokans, then who? Who are these ancients the Ondon claim as the architects of their sanctuary? I suspect our answer lies within the reason Inexalt withdrew here to the Tempest. He may simply have wished to retreat somewhere mortals would struggle to reach, but there are much more locations. Inexalt is devoted to his role, and thus we might assume his choice of stronghold somehow serves his Asian agenda. Or mayhaps his place more dear to him than any other. Such traces in the source would be obliterated if by the secession of the Umbral calamities, but here in the first, it might have remained untouched for millennia. A copy of the mural in Kitana Raval, Ahmet presented to me during my visit to Fano after our victory in Calusia. Here in the first scene, by Inexalt's own words, it depicts a city of eons past and the disaster which befell it. The design is much more simplistic, of course, but do you see the similarities between the towers and those you've just inspected? this is the mural. Though I cannot guess as to its purpose, it must have been an imposing sight. How much of the tower's height lies beneath the ground, I wonder? Centuries of our history have settled upon such ruins, countless layers of dust and sediment. An entire civilization, its existence forgotten by all except a handful of Asians. And yet, it did exist. They lived here, in this city. But let us focus on what we've learned thus far. The Ondo chieftain spoke of mystery stirring, of a land illuminated. Judging by his words, he believes this phenomenon related to the ancients returned. Thus can we surmise that what the Ondo saw shining in the abyss was, in all likelihood, yet another remnant of this age-old civilization. And who else would light the lanterns, as Reen put it, than Emic Silk himself? 'Tis almost certain he is there. But if we are to find this stronghold in a timely manner, it seems gaining the Ondon's trust remains our swiftest path forward. I hope our deeds are enough to win them over. Thank you for assisting me with my investigations. I shall seek out our companions and share what we've learned. Much as I would like to tell you to sit down and leave the rest to us, your condition demands that we make all reasonable haste. If you are not too weary, it may be useful to speak with Oan again, and ask if there is aught else he is willing to divulge. Ah, Alfina's friend, you and your companions have done much to repair the damage caused when the waters parted. Anything else you can do? Have you been to the walls of the Forgotten? Yes, that is the sacred site of which I speak. Could it be that your footsteps were guided there by the ancients? I believe it may be so. Listen then, I will tell you of our plans to bring light to the walls, that we might answer the shining call of the illuminated land. We have requested a finless craftsman to shape for us a sacred lamp. He is odd for a land dweller, choosing as he does live in the ocean, but his skill is beyond question. It is concerning, however, that we have heard nothing of his progress. If you were to visit this artisan and return with our long-awaited light, then any doubt as to your purpose would be laid to rest. His name is... Really? You'll find his workshop in a metal structure to the south. Oh, it's just great, that is. Oh, that's just great, that is. Me, mine's playing tricks on me now. Look, Grinhold, someone's come to visit ye at the bottom of the bleeding ocean. Or might be as a ghost, eh? Go on, foul shade, feast yourself on me rotten soul. I got no use for it. A craftsman, what can't craft is more pointless than a sea slug with a dom doming hammer. Interesting word, okay. And that's an insult to bloody sea slugs. You won't be trying to raise my spirits now, would ye, spirit? Not what ye'd expect from a servant of the netherworld. Why does the name seem so familiar, but he doesn't look familiar? Might be when we cross paths back in the Crystarium, but I don't reckon we've formally been introduced. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, why does the name sound familiar? Name's Grinold. And that's here's meant to be me underwater sanctuary, a place where I can give myself over to work far from the distractions of the outside world. And yet, here you stand. Now that's a damn that now what's so damn important that you dive all the way down to the bottom of the Bleat and Tempest to bother me? The Ondo's lamp. God's curse me, empty head. I've not so much made a start. Oh, jeez. I'm worthless than a sea slug. Nay, the slime left by a sea slug. Me deliberate dates long past, me bench work is untouched, and I call myself a blatant artisan. You've heard their beliefs, have you? Bringing light to them ruins will be an act of deep religious and cultural significance. And it was my privilege as a craftsman to be tasked with providing a ritual instrument worthy of the occasion, but I can't. I just can't bloody well. Me mind's a bleeding blank. It's like I've tell me you got somewhat to show me. Somewhat as I'll give me muse a right good kick in the arse. The Undone want to honor the coming of the ancients, so their answering lights got ablaze with the right kind of blessing or brightness. Like the spark of life caught in a crystal. But ye just sparkly's not enough. It's got to dance with joy and sorrow and a sense of hardship endured. Ye know what I mean? Let the light inside me work? I let the unknown down. But more in that I've let myself down. Might as well go back to mending kettles. Okay, now I understand why the roll quest was a thing. What's that you got there? Such a striking beauty, it shines with heartache and laughter and transient of life like the turmoil history made manifest. I can see that brilliance of Crystal's legacy. You'd never capture such a gleam, not if you labored for 100 years. But bugger me if I don't mean to try. Where are me tools, gods damn ye? I must set to work before the feeling fades. Okay. And with that, we're going to end it here. I believe this goes up mid to late May, give or take. But in the meantime, thank you for coming out. Go to Twitch, subscribe, do all the stuff, like, follow, the usual. Till then, be good to yourself, be good to others, and of course, stay true to you. Laters.
Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. 'Cause darkness, my old friend, you won't get me till that's the end. At the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe